Howdy, folks, and welcome. My name is Alex. I am the founder of Gameplay Candles, and tonight I'm joined by my illustrious partner and wife, Jessica. So thank you, everyone. Let's welcome Jessica to the podcast. How you doing, Jess?
Doing well. I didn't get the normal intro because we were running a bit behind today. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's a little crazy today. A couple last-minute changes necessitated a little bit different, but we're going to keep the normal fun things going without interruption. We have our dice game going here, and the way this works is we're going to roll a 20-sided die, and we're going to add the value to a baseline 10% discount that's going to be live all hour at gameplaycandles.com. And that's whatever percentage we roll is going to be off your entire order. So, without further ado, let's hit it. Let's see, high number. Okay, 12. So that's a total of 22% off your entire order at gameplaycandles.com. All you have to do is utilize the code movie23 at gameplaycandles.com. And that'll be 22% off your entire order. Wow, that's a little confusing. 23 and 22% off, but don't worry about it. It's going to be a baseline 22% off your entire order over at gameplaycandles.com. Okay. Well,
Hey, would you mind sending me the show notes so I know the order of operations of things tonight?
well, I think we're just going to have a discussion today. Like we said, it's a little loose and fast here tonight. We have some last minute changes. We're going to have we're going to have two special guests on next week, and I think the week after the following week. But next week we're going to have our fan of the show, Squirrels, on as a special guest. He recently had a D20 cruise that he went on, which I am personally intrigued about. Like if I could pick a vacation, it would be a cruise. If I can somehow tie in Dungeons and Dragons into a cruise, then that's a winning strategy for me personally. Jess, you can stay home. That's all right. But and after that, we're gonna have a special guest on a DM of a long-standing campaign. I think that's all I'm gonna say right now. I'm just gonna tease it a little bit, but we're looking at the 14th of June for that one, and there'll be some more literature put out for the fans after that. So, yeah. So anyway, we're just going to have a conversation today. We're going to talk about some business updates. We're going to get into a discussion about the D&D movie, as you may have guessed by our discount code. But let's see. Let's keep it nice and brief here. First off, last week I mentioned that we had our first wholesaler join the Gameplay Candles family. That was Larkin Owl, a bookstore in Georgetown, Texas. So if you're in the north central area of Texas, definitely check them out. We have now added a second retailer. Outlaw Moon Games in Austin, Texas, is now carrying our jar candle and tin candle core scents. So be sure to check them out. It's an amazing shop. They have so many games packed into such a tiny space. Well, not tiny space. I don't want to give you the wrong impression here, but
No, it's a cool space. It's nice to see just coming into new areas and new places and how diverse too our different wholesalers and retailers are. Some really focused on games, some focused on books and the experience of being able to eat and kind of enjoy a fantasy experience. So it's kind of cool to see these different types of retailers chat with us and get to know us and feature our
and Pamela, fan of the show there, you commented, you're a fan of that bookstore. So am I. They're Larkin Owl booksellers they're a fantastic bunch of people. They also have a regular D&D game happening there that I am so excited to be a part of. But yeah, now we have Outlaw Books and Comics or Books and Games, and so excited to bring it into the Austin city limits. I'd love this trend to continue, where every week I announce a new wholesaler. So, dear listeners, if you would like to have gameplay candles carried at your local bookstore, um, please feel free to reach out, tag them in any of our socials. We'd love to entertain any wholesale opportunities anywhere in the continental U.S., especially in Texas, but really anywhere is fine by us. Um, let's see. So the other business update I have is, if you have enjoyed our products, if you have bought even tea light sample pack, tins, or jar candles, and you like it, take a picture of that candle out in the wild and send it our way on any of our social channels. We'd love to feature that. We'd love to talk to you about what you like about our candles, what you like about our products, and we'd we'd put that out there for other folks to see. We love generating this sort of grassroots swell of support. And if you want to be part of that, let us know. Just reach out through any of our social channels. I think the only other thing to say is we're in the process of finalizing our fall scent lines. I just got an email at like 4:55 this afternoon that my order is ready to pick up at a local candle supplier who has all their fall fragrances that launches. So yeah, I couldn't make it in 5 minutes, but I'm going to make it tomorrow to pick up those fall scents that I am personally super excited about. I think that they have done a lot of work to generate a story that goes with these scents. And if it's, if I'm a dungeon master, it's my job to tell a story to you. And so I want to translate their story into a D&D story to you. And I can't wait to do that with the fall scents I'll be picking up tomorrow. Once I get those scents, I'll be pouring a bunch of tea light sample packs. And if you want to get free sample packs in the mail, then all you have to do is join our scent tester groups and go to this website here. That's go.gameplaycandles.com/tester. And we will send you free samples, free tea light samples. You'll fill out a brief form online once you've sampled them and let us know what we got right. Let us know what we got wrong. We'd love taking that feedback, positive and negative, and crafting a better candle from it. So if you want to get free samples in your mail, then by all means go to go.gameplaycandles.com/tester to sign up to be a scent tester for our
Actually, Pam is one of our best scent testers. She gives lots of feedback.
Yep. And very detailed, I should say. Pam, thank you so much for the detailed feedback. We love getting into the the minutia of your notes and figuring out what we can do better. And so if you guys like giving your opinion on anything, which is a surefire way to get me to respond to something, by all means, sign up to be a scent tester today. We're getting ready to send out our fall sample line, and we'll use your feedback to craft a better candle for gamers. So
Yeah, I'm really excited for the fall line because we're doing. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but we're doing like 2 little mini launches in the fall line.
oh
Um,
you can,
one
by
that's
all means,
Can I talk about it?
yeah,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
One that's more like Halloween or like Hallows Eve, like kind of spooky scent
Mm-hmm.
collection, but still D&D themed, obviously all D&D, but has more of kind of like if you were playing a campaign that was a kind of,
If hags were your BBEG.
yes. So
Yeah.
that is one. And then we're doing another fall launch. There's just much more like the traditional fall launch of things that you traditionally smell in the fall time, but would be a little bit warmer, less scary, and less spooky. Fall scents.
We're talking mulled cider. We're talking, it's too popular to avoid, but pumpkin spice.
Those style
Friendly
scents.
scents like that. If you've ever had a pumpkin spice latte, then I really hope you sign up to be a scent tester so we can nail that scent just for
Yeah. Well, and I really want to hear the feedback too. Like, if no one wants pumpkin spice, I want to know because just because I'm a basic, and I like pumpkin spice doesn't mean our D&D group or D&D folks or the people who love D&D are going to want that kind of scent in their house. And
Well, yeah.
like, I do realize those will be like our seasonal limited scents, right? Like, so they're not going to be year round offerings, but it would be
Mhm.
nice to get that feedback if you are a scent tester. Do I even want that kind of scent in my house, or like burn that type of candle? The
Yeah.
Halloween ones, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, yeah, we have like a Hag's tonic is one that we are prepping. What, Jess, you know better than anyone that when we have these ads on our social channels for like barbarian encampment or dwarven mountain hall, people are like, "Oh, so it smells like rotting meat," stuff like that. And we've never put out a candle that smells anything other than fantastic, or like very enjoyable. But for Halloween, Hag's tonic has to have a
Well,
smell.
but I do think we are very intentional about it being something you'd want to fill a room and want it to last a bit. You wouldn't
Mhm.
want it like there are some like sulfur scents and stuff that we get to
Yeah.
test, guys, that I'm like, there's no way I'd want to like have that scent running for a long time. Now, would I love to be able to display it momentarily? And we're talking about ways to do that. Yes, for like an encounter or for like a brief moment, but I don't want it to fill my entire house.
Right, right, right.
Like I don't want rotten egg scent to be
Well,
like
I
house.
can see the comments already on like our Hag's tonic candle. If we come up with a better title, so be it. But Jess, I'm so happy that you mentioned the brief momentary negative smell, because in the gameplay candles R&D laboratories on subsection 3, we have a team hard at work developing a very special product that I don't think any other candle company has right now, but could be the vehicle by which a brief flash of negative smell could really bring the immersive nature of a D&D encounter um, to your gaming table. So
Not to
stand
tease
by
too
for
much. Not to
what's
tease too
that?
much. Not to tease too much,
Not
right?
to tease too much. That's all I'm gonna say. Just
Well,
stand
and
by for updates on that.
we do have like a lot of things in the works, right? We have like we've been talking a bit about wax melts. We've been talking a bit about some of these new scents, right? It's all because this is very iterative process and you are fans, like you should be part of this process. It's not
Mhm.
just our noses that are immersed in this experience. Like we want your feedback. We want to know, would you want this? Is this something that you would enjoy, like would immerse you truly in the campaign more and you would feel like you're better connected to the players at the table and you've had a unique experience. So
That's so true. And so that's why I want to one last time plug that you go to go.gameplaycandles.com/tester and join the discussion. Become part of this iterative process. And we'd love to get that feedback. So,
yeah. What's our topic for tonight?
our topic for tonight, since we did have to pull something out of the air at last minute, we want to talk a bit more about the D&D movie, D&D Honor Amongst Thieves. I think we talked about this in May when it like
Yeah,
just
well, but we didn't want to give
sorry,
any spoilers,
it's
right?
May
We
right
saw it
now.
early.
It's
Yeah.
March. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it in March and we didn't want to give any spoilers. And now it's on like Paramount Plus and now it's out to rent and stuff. So we wanted to have more of an in-depth discussion of it.
That's
But we
right.
didn't want to have any spoilers get leaked. So there are going to be spoilers ahead now moving forward. We hope you've seen it if you're a true D&D fan so far, because we're going to be talking about some of the plot points, some of the character developments, some of the choices they made, things we liked, things we didn't like. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you've been warned. Oh, look. Yes, but no details. Great.
Sorry, Pam, but we are going to be discussing some details about the D&D movie. So, buckle up. This is going to be a little nerdy, but that's why you're all here. We're going to talk about the D&D movie, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we think we could do better. And yeah. So, Jess, you don't play D&D, right?
I
You're a
do.
filthy casual somehow sneaking onto this podcast It's not podcast, it's live stream.
I'm married to you, so I feel like I get a lot of exposure to it.
Yeah.
Whether I
You
want
are
to
a
have
D&D
exposure to
widow.
it or
That's
not. I
true.
am a D&D widow. It is true. I was literally
Yeah.
telling today a guy at my work, I'm a D&D widow. And he
Yeah.
was like cracking up because he paints miniatures and he's like so into D&D, but he doesn't
Oh,
play.
yeah. Are you, I
Yeah.
think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He paints miniatures, but he doesn't play?
Yeah. And I was telling him, well, I'm a D&D widow. You have to meet my husband. You'll be in like 12 campaigns. And then you'll also, if you have a
It's my mission.
spouse
I'm
or
gonna
partner, be a
Yeah.
D&D. Have them be a D&D
It's
widow.
my mission to meet him later this week, and I will drag him into a game at one of our wholesalers. But yes, that okay. So you're in good company, basically. But you saw the movie.
Yes.
This movie was like, besides being married to me, this movie might have been your first introduction to D&D, or like many people who've seen the movie, it might be their first intro to D&D. And I'm just wondering, did anything stand out to you about, what you liked about the movie and how that affects your opinion on Dungeons and Dragons?
So first of all, I love the plot line. The most I had been exposed to D&D was I'm a big Stranger Things fan. So that was my first exposure to D&D. And I'll tell you from that standpoint, I enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
Like I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the plot points. I enjoyed the cheesiness of it. I enjoyed the casting. I thought the casting was great. There's things that I think went over my head that I'm sure I would understand better if I had been like a D&D fanatic or like fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I thought the movie was entertaining. Like this is how I kind of grade movies that surprise me. Like, was it a Thor Ragnarok where I walked in and didn't realize it was going to be an amazing movie? Like, right? Like, I thought Thor Ragnarok was awesome, right?
Yeah.
I went to see that movie by myself, like on a whim or something, and like you didn't even want to go see it.
we're happily married. Okay, guys. Like, no. But yes.
But I mean, that was like a movie I walked out. I was like, dang, that was a hilarious, great movie. And I did not expect that. I felt the same way about Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Like the first one. This one, like this movie to me wasn't to that level, but it was close. Does that make sense? Like it was,
sure. There's
it was
gradations.
not quite like oh my gosh, this knocked me off my feet. Like I'm going to tell everyone to go see it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and would go see it again and watch it again. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I sort of gave it the same rating overall, and I think when people ask me how it was, I say it's a solid flick, and so I think anyone could walk into that theater with or without knowledge about D&D and just enjoy it. Pam asks, would I like it? Pam, I think you would like it. It's a solid fantasy movie. Like if you like Willow, if you liked Willow back in the day, if you
I don't think she watched Willow.
Oh my
I don't
gosh,
think she's seen
Pamela
Willow.
Tobias, you are missing out on a classic.
Pam, it's kind of like so you know how Lord of the Rings like went way in depth into fantasy? It's a lighter version of Lord of the Rings to me, like a more like friendly, accessible version of fantasy, I guess is what I would say. It's like I don't know, it's accessible fantasy.
Accessible, yeah. It's the intro. Willow, oh God, Pamela, you are embarrassing yourself. But no, Willow is a movie that Steven Spielberg produced in the 80s and is considered a classic in the fantasy realm. Jessica, I think it's hilarious. You said how Lord of the Rings was like went way into depth into the fantasy.
To me, that was like a soup. Like you had to like enjoy fantasy to be well for a casual moviegoer. Like someone like myself who isn't into fantasy, like I'm not reading fantasy books for fun. To be honest, most of what I read is business and marketing books. So it's like,
oh God, it's the opposite of fantasy.
And if I read something for pleasure, it's going to be something like a guilty pleasure, like all those what are those books right now?
Twilight.
I did read Twilight. I did actually enjoy Twilight.
Did you stop halfway through the last one though?
No. I read Twilight. I read Hunger Games. I read all those like teeny like love story books. That's actually the type of book like I would enjoy a book like that if it had a fantasy element. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, oh my gosh, Pam. I'm not even gonna respond to
that.
Yeah. But no. So for me, D&D the movie, going back to D&D the movie, it was entertaining. I didn't feel like I needed to know everything about D&D to enjoy it, and I felt like it wasn't too in depth to the point where I felt lost in the characters or the storyline. Whereas there are parts of Lord of the Rings, I never read Lord of the Rings, lost me a little bit. I had to rewatch it. I had to go see it again. You're like
Yeah,
doing this to me, but like if you never read Lord of the Rings, like
oh, howdy, Ashley. Glad to hear it. Oh, family time's great. My mom flew in from Denver this morning, so I know a bit about family time. We can't wait to catch you next
today
week.
is Alex's birthday, for the record, guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Look,
Today
why
is
don't you
his
give my
birthday.
social security number out while you're at it? Jeez
Today
Louise.
is his birthday,
Okay.
so we have to shower him with love.
I'm 29 years young.
No, you are not.
Would you
You're an
believe
old
me?
man,
30
old
years
soul
young.
trapped in an old man body.
Very true. Well,
Okay,
I'm
well,
glad
so what
that
are
you
your thoughts as
consider.
a true D&D fan? Oh, here you go. Pam is
Yeah,
saying,
thank you, Pamela. I'm glad that you consider Lord of the Rings deep into fantasy. Just know that the books are way more into it than the movies, but the movies are excellent. And I have that's my disclaimer. Um, I think that the whole goal of this D&D movie should have been and was an intro to fantasy for so many new viewers. I really think that the way Marvel has created a Marvel Cinematic Universe, D&D could have that. There's lore out there enough to fill dozens of movies. And having Zaz Tam as a lich BBEG that's hinted at in the movie, but not really confronted in the movie, is a great way to like build up a character the way Thanos was built up over half a dozen movies in phase 1, 2, and 3, I think. But
of the MCU, just to clarify, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yes, the Marvel
We know what
Cinematic
he's
Universe.
talking about.
Yes, Thanos is a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In case you haven't, been to a movie theater in the past 15 years, but
You never know. I mean, some of our fans are diehard. They're not going to go see an MCU movie, in my opinion. But
if you see this, be it a year from now, a day from now, and you have not seen an MCU movie, please comment.
Pam
To let me
has
know
never
that you
seen a
exist.
Willow movie that apparently is quintessential like fantasy movie. So, and I had not seen Willow, for the record, until like 2 years ago, and I watched it on YouTube as like a bootleg stream because you couldn't even get access to it on
You're talking
regular.
about Willow, the original movie?
Yeah, I'd never seen it until like 2 years ago.
How are we married? I don't even know.
I'd never heard of it. I had no idea.
I saw it on Betamax because my lovely mother over there
She's in town right
got a
now.
bootleg copy that was spread over 2 Betamax tapes that we would like pop out one and put the other one in when the time came.
I don't think it's as mainstream as you think it is.
Well, that makes me very sad for the world.
Saying. I watched it on YouTube as like a crappy stream of it with you like 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
God, okay, dagger to the heart. But other than that, fantasy should be as built up as the MCU is, and I think that D&D is the perfect vessel for it because there is that, like I said, that lore. There's like 20 to 50 years worth of lore built up that could be mined for good storylines, like epic storylines that would rival anything that had. Anything going on with squirrels.
Is there a laser?
Laserdisc version.
I remember Laserdisc when they had those giant Laserdiscs and they bring them into like school. Like I watched Balto on that. That's
I get this. I watched one of my best friends in elementary school. His dad was a musician, and he had a Laserdisc of a band called They Might Be Giants. He had their music videos on there called for a song called Purple Toupee. And if you don't know it, look up They Might Be Giants, Purple Toupee. It's a fantastic song. That whole album is gold. But he had a laser disc in his home. And so Yeah, we would watch that. There's definitely a Laserdisc version of Willow out there. It's probably worth more than the raw materials put together. Um, but yes, squirrels. So
That sounds
glad you could
horrible.
tune in. Like I was telling other folks, squirrels, we're excited to have you on next week to talk with you about your experience with D&D
Look, I
and
think this
not
is
just the cruise, but
yeah. I just
gaming.
have to say, I think this is the battle of all battles. Look,
Oh,
so
time
your
out.
mom is
Squirrels,
saying
reason.
it's mainstream, and my mom, who's also on, is saying it's not mainstream. Ooh, who's right?
Well, obviously my mom. But time out. Squirrels, reason number like 15 that I like squirrels is he knows if they might be giants. They were my first band that I ever saw in person. I was 8 years old. I saw them at Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut, and through a smoky atmosphere. And I'll be damned if I haven't been a fan of them ever since. So,
Oh, we just lost Alex. Is he still going? Let's see. I think we lost him. Oh,
oh,
I'm still
I'm
here.
here. Oh, God. What did you hear?
Nothing.
What was the last thing you heard me saying?
Something about something. I forgot. Sorry. I listened to you, I swear.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was saying, reason number, 15 that I like squirrels is he knows they might be
Oh,
giants.
we heard that. Yeah, we heard that
Oh,
part.
okay. And it was my first band that I saw. You hear that?
Yes, we heard that. We
Okay.
heard your whole entire life story about them.
It all began in 1873, a stormy ship crossing the North Atlantic from Ireland.
Oh,
No.
see, Squirrel says it's not a bad first concert. Yeah, I'm not even going to admit my first concert because.
Okay. Wait.
Oh my gosh, look. Oh God, it's the
Battle of the Mother-in-Laws. Okay, great.
Battle of Mother-in-Laws.
Oh
Okay,
God.
wait. So back to the D&D movie.
Yeah.
Things. What is your impressions? You said okay, like overall decent flick. Like
Yeah, totally decent flick. A great intro to fantasy for so many casual new fans. A great source material to mine for an extended universe like the MCU has been.
what did you think
And
of Chris Pine's Bard?
I
This
thought
is
Chris Pine was the perfect casting for it. I don't think they really utilized him to his full aspect.
Mhm.
He was more like a rogue almost than a bard. He was a bard slash. I talked about this last week actually when we talked about pop culture references. But Chris Pines was a bard multi-classed into a rogue and doing a poor job at both. But he was a good face of the party. There's that role to play. I thought that. Or I maintain that he could be a staple in future D&D movies down the pike. And I really, really hope that Hasbro picks up on the desire for audiences to see more fantasy movies like the one they put out there. And so, I'd love it. There were definitely like moments around. There were moments in the movie that could have occurred around a gaming table, and those are the golden nuggets to mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say I liked Chris Pine, but I wish there would have been more Bard, like more moments where he was silly a little bit more so. Like they had some silliness, but he had this whole father storyline that kind of, and then he was also seemed like he was like transitioning characters from like this, like I don't know, more of like the rogue to the Bard, but then still I don't know. So,
Yeah, it was a little muddled,
mhm.
which is, in my opinion, indicative of a multi-classed character.
Mm.
But yeah, they could have. Maybe there's more. I mean, I'm armchair quarterbacking here, so
I
take
have to
everything.
know your thoughts on the owl bear because there were like I heard like all these people really upset about the druid owl bear thing. I didn't quite understand. Obviously, is not a player of D&D. Like I didn't understand what all the controversy is like around it. So can you explain it to those of us who are like noobs?
Yeah. So, well, squirrels, you make a good point. His bard stuff was great. Wasn't a great bard, but a decent character. Yes, he was very entertaining on camera, and uh, being a decent character or being a mediocre character makes for an entertaining character on camera. To the point where like I've played D&D enough where I purposefully will play characters that just seem cool to me, or fun to me, and aren't power. They're not min maxed or anything like that. And I think that's a decent play style. I think it's a perfectly relevant play style and character for movies and whatnot. And so maybe I'm getting a little into the weeds there when I criticize Chris Pine's character, but I mean, he's one I'd play. Jess, to get to your question about the owl bear controversy. So the issue comes up where druids have an ability called wild shape, which is sort of their defining characteristic. It lets them morph into animals that they've seen before and of a certain class. Oh yeah, Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah, squirrels. Totally
She's
10 out of 10.
awesome.
Perfect barbarian. To the
Well,
point
she
where
plays a barbarian in almost every film she's in.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like the honest trailers video on YouTube is like Michelle Rodriguez plays, get this, a barbaric woman or a strong woman or whatnot. It's
Fierce
like,
woman,
wow.
doesn't take any shit woman.
Yeah. Perfectly cast. Yeah. But okay, so druids wild shape into creatures or whatnot. Owl bears are not a creature that barbarians can normally wild shape into. That's the controversy. The workaround to that is that high-level druids get a spell called polymorph, which would allow them to transfer into an owl bear. But we're getting into the minutia here. It's not. It didn't ruin anything for me. It totally enhanced the experience for me. So I'm glad that they included an owl bear in the movie, and more power to them. I hope that they take creative liberties like that.
I liked Regé-Jean Page's character the best, the paladin.
Yes.
I mean, I know him from Bridgerton, so like, if any of y'all like Bridgerton,
I'm sorry, is that Bridgerton? What is this? It's Bridgerton? Is that how am I pronouncing it right?
Bridgerton, it's a show on Netflix done. Oh gosh, I just forgot who the creator was. Her name is on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, it is steamy. There's like all kinds of gossip. It's like Gossip set in that like the Regency era. So
okay.
And it's really fun. And he's in the first season, and he is so cute and handsome. Anyways, and then he played a very interesting character in this, which was also mysterious and handsome. And
I'd say he wasn't mysterious. He was like a one-dimensional character, but it was good because he was set among.
He walked over the rock. Like, what's he gonna do?
One-dimensional. But I think that he was set amongst a bunch of three-dimensional characters, and so it worked really well. Squirrels, you made the comment, just enjoy the movie and play D&D the way you want. That is absolutely my philosophy. Everyone has their own gaming table, and far be it from me or any other DM to detract from the enjoyment of another gaming table or fantasy experience, So, yeah. Well, Jessica, look at the time. My God.
I know. We just talked so much. Well, I just would like to say that I hope Regé-Jean Page is in the next movie. That's all.
Okay, good. I thought you were going to say live stream because I might not get a word in edgewise then. But all right, thank goodness. Well, yeah, I hope so too. I mean, that's another character that could show up especially because he's so much higher level than the other ones in this movie. But in any case,
just for the last spoiler, did anyone like anticipate that ending? That's how the tablet would be used? Just saying.
I think the ending was actually one of the weakest points of the movie.
Okay.
I mean, like the whole movie, they're like
makes me wonder.
For a good part of the movie, they were focused on getting the helm, right? And then it turns out, here's a spoiler. Oh,
It's a spoiler, Pam. Close your ears.
we don't need the helm. The treasure was never there. Like I think my players would feel cheated if I pulled something like that off
I can
on them.
understand that.
But yeah, the use of the tablet of rejuvenation or whatever it was. Yeah, okay, I get it. You know,
I
classic.
cried. I thought it was so sweet. I thought
It's
it.
a little tropey for
Yeah,
me.
and that's why I liked it. It was like the perfect. So
Look
sweet.
at the two ends of the spectrum on this one live stream. Amazing. Well, I want to make one last plug. Head on over to gameplaykandles.com to get a significant discount. What is it, 22%, Jessica?
Yeah,
22%
22%.
discount on your entire order when you use discount code movie 0523. There it is.
What is
Movie
that? That
0523.
is such a random code.
Well, 05 for the month, 23 for the date in which I was prepping this.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, head over there if you want the discount. It'll be live until 10 p.m. Central. Do that translation to wherever you live.
That's right. Yes. And other than that, we will see you next week where,
Aw.
oh, Morgan made it. Hello. Okay. Thank you, Morgan. We're happy to see you. Head on over to gameplaykandles.com. Get 22% off your
Aw,
entire.
squirrels. Get your barbarian encampment candle. It's his new
Oh,
favorite.
thank you,
Yeah.
Squirrels. That was the surprise hit of our ChupacabraCon premiere with that candle. And I just poured 8 new jar candles of that. So small batch, super, super pristine.
Just
But
to back to Morgan though, like the Heroes of Evermore, like have you seen his setups? Like talk
we're
about
going to be talking a
ultimate
lot.
DM.
We're,
Holy moly.
we're going to be talking a lot about Heroes of Evermore here in a little bit. But that's all I'll say. That's all the teasing I'll do.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. It's
other than that,
insanity. If y'all aren't following, y'all should go just to like, wow.
look at that. Listen to that marketer right there. Look at her
I
at work.
know. I'm just saying, like, I can't. I mean, I just want to watch. Like, I don't even play D. Like, I just want to watch
Yes.
because
Well,
it's like
that's what they do, man.
insanity. Like,
Yeah, me too. Can't wait.
oh my gosh.
All
Okay.
right.
Anyways, we got to get this broadcast.
Yeah,
Thank
we've taken
you
up
guys for
enough of
watching.
your time. Thank you so much, kind listeners. Can't wait to interact with you again next week. For now, head on over to gameplaykandles.com to enjoy a 22% discount off your entire order when you use the checkout code movie0523. And otherwise, we will see you next week, same time, same place. And yeah, I think that's it. We'll chat with you then.